Sairam students, let's begin with the revision of geography chapter number 1, that is resources, right? Let's go through the content of the chapter: meaning of resources, value of resources, types of resources, then classification of resources, conservation of resources, and sustainable development. These are the topics that we are going to cover in the revision part. Today we will try to cover till the classification of resources, and the remaining 2-3 topics will be covered in the next session. Now let's begin with the meaning of resources. See, we have so many things surrounding us in nature, right? All these things which can be used to fulfill human needs, human desires have been termed as resources, right? So anything that can be used to satisfy a need is a resource. That is the meaning of resource, right? The gifts of nature, such as air, water, soil, forest, and minerals, as well as human creations, such as buildings, roads, and so on, all, all things are resources because they satisfy various human needs, right? So, in short, we can say the things that you see around yourself, everything in the nature, or everything that is the human creation, will be termed as resources. Now, water, electricity, rickshaw, vegetable, textbook. I told you about the general things right now, right? Have something in common. What thing they have in common? They have all been used by you. By you, not only by you, by everyone, right? By everyone, those who are there in in this world have to rely on these common things. So they have utility. When we are using the things that are resources for us, they have utility. Now let's try to understand what is the meaning of the term utility. Utility or usability is what makes an object or substance a resource, right? I'll repeat once again. See, we have used all the things that we have got in the nature, right? So they have got utility. And what is that utility or usability is what makes an object or substance a resource. Now, its use or utility gives it a value, correct? See, it depends. Like, it is not always like all resources have value, but then the values are of different type. It is not always like the economical value that we are going to learn now. So, whatever has been used, the utility or usability is what makes an object or substance a resource. Then its use or utility gives it a value. All resources have some value. Now let's understand the meaning of the term value. Value means worth. Now let's move to the next topic, that is value of resources. See, I told you before this also, like, value means it is not always in the terms of economical way. Okay, it may be in some other way also. Let's see how. Value means the worth. Some resources have economic value, some do not have. Now here I have given you the examples of metals. Metals have an economic value, right? But what about a beautiful landscape? Right, many times we have seen people go to the hill stations, to the tourist places. Why? They spend money, right? But the satisfaction that they get is not economical value. That is the pleasure they give, the pleasure from that. So it has got the aesthetic value. A beautiful landscape may give you the aesthetic value, but both are important and satisfy human needs. Some resources can become economically valuable with time. See, maybe the resource that doesn't have a economic value now, but with maybe after some time, after few years, that the same resource may get economic value. Like how? I'll give you the example. Like, suppose your grandmother's home remedies have no commercial value today, right? But if they are patented, now let's understand the meaning of the term patented. What is that patented? It means the exclusive right over an idea or invention. See, by we know very well at home also your grandmother, she keeps on advising you about the home remedies if you are sick what should be taken. So if that home remedies, if they had been patented and sold by a medical firm, they could become economically valuable. So I hope you understood the meaning of the term patent. Patent means, it means the exclusive right over that particular idea or an invention. So I hope you understood. Like, see, there are some kind of resources like that gives you the pleasure. Okay, so these things gives you, but it doesn't give you the economical value, right? Especially we can say about the things that God has given us in the nature, such as the mountains, deserts, plateaus, valleys, plains, hill stations, everywhere, and beautiful beaches, landscapes, everything that comes into that only. It gives you the important pleasure, and that is why we call them as resources. So, such resources do not have economic value, but it definitely has aesthetic value. And I told you after some time, like that, the same resource may get the economic value also if it is patented. I give you the example of your grandmother's remedies, right? Now, time and technology are the two important factors that can change substance into resources. Now, both are related, time and technology. Both are related to the needs of the people. People themselves are the most important resource, right? It is their ideas, knowledge, inventions, and discoveries that lead to the creation of more resources. Correct. See, we know very well if human being has that capability. If human being uses their ideas, if they use their knowledge, then they can really invent. And if they use their inventions that has been done by them, they can lead to the creation of the more and more resources. So each discovery or invention leads to many others. Here I can give you the example of the discovery of fire led to the practice of cooking and other processes, while the invention of the wheel. See, after the invention of the wheel, only ultimately it resulted in the development of newer modes of transport, correct? The technology to create hydroelectricity has turned energy in vast flowing water into an important resource. So, people themselves are the most important resources, and if their ideas, knowledge, inventions, and discoveries have been used properly, that can lead to the more and more resources. Now let's move further to the types of resources. See, resources are generally classified into natural resources, human made resources, and human resources. But again, in natural resources, we have got the classification on the basis of level of development and use, on the basis of origin, on the basis of stock, and on the basis of distribution. Let's move further to the natural resources first. Now, I hope the term itself tells you natural resources means what? The resources that are drawn from nature. It means the nature has given you and without used and we are using it without much modification in that. Like whatever the nature has given you, we are using that resources as it is, that are called as the natural resources. The air we breathe, right? We need any modification in that? Definitely not. The water in our rivers and lakes, the soils, minerals are all natural resources. Many of these resources are free gifts of nature and can be used directly by human beings, correct? But in some cases, tools and technology may be needed to use a natural resource in the best possible way. Now, natural resources are classified into different groups. I told you it's depending upon their level of development and use. Let's see that has been divided as two bases on the level of development and use, that is actual resources and potential resources. Now, let's try to understand the meaning of this. What is that actual resources and potential resources? Actual resources are those resources whose quantity is known to us. These resources are being used in the present. I can give you the example of this as the rich deposits of coal in rural region of Germany. And even we have petroleum in the West Asia, the dark soil of the Deccan Plateau in Maharashtra. These all are included in the actual resources. Now let's see, potential resources are those whose entire quantity may not be known, and these are not being used at present fully, but these resources could be used in the future. It, See, presently it has not been used but are likely to be used in near future. How? With the available technology. Now here let's try to understand the meaning of the term technology. What is that? It is the application of latest knowledge and skill in doing or making things. So by using the technology, available technology, the resources which are not presently used but can be used in the future, that is called as the potential resources. So the level of technology we may have at present may not be advanced enough to easily utilize these resources. Which resources? That is the potential, right? But the uranium found in Ladakh, it's an example of the potential resource that could be used in the future. High speed winds were a potential resource 200 years ago, but today, see, potential resource can be converted into actual, but today they are an actual resource, and winds farm generate energy with using windmills. You all know very well, nowadays in the farms windmills are used, right? So that is the form of the actual resource, windmills. But whereas the same thing, the high speed winds, that were the potential resource, and that has been utilized to make the windmills. So that is an actual resource. You will find some in Nagarkoil in Tamil Nadu and on the Gujarat coast. Now let's move to the next one. Natural resources, we will see the classification based on their origin. Now, based on the origin, resources can be classified as abiotic and biotic. Let's understand the meaning of this. Biotic resources are living things such as useful plants, animals, and human beings. All living things are included in biotic resources, whereas abiotic resources are non-living things. So we can take the example, all non-living things like soil, rocks, metal, water, everything is included in abiotic resources. Now let's move to the next classification, that is on the basis of distribution. On the basis of the distribution, resources can be classified as ubiquitous resources and localized resources. Let's understand the meaning of this. See, resources that are found everywhere, like the air we breathe, are ubiquitous resources. That means the resources which we can get everywhere. So the example the good example can be given as that of the air that we breathe. We can get it everywhere, correct? So that are called as the ubiquitous resources. But those which are found only in certain places, not everywhere, that resources are called as localized resources. Resources which are found only in certain places are called as localized resources. Okay, the example can be given as the copper and iron ore. Now let's move. See, in some of the books you will see that is the classification of natural resources is given only as renewable resources and non-renewable resources. But in some of the books it is given as on the basis of the level of development and use, on the basis of origin, on the basis of distribution that we have discussed right now. But not to worry, you just keep on revising that revision from this, as well as we have done in the detailed presentations that we have done previously. That is also going to be helpful to you. Now let's move to this. Natural resources, again on the basis of stock, can be classified as renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Now let's understand the meaning of renewable resources. Renewable resources are those which get renewed or replenished quickly. Some of these are unlimited and are not affected by human activities, such as the solar and wind energy. Yet careless use of certain renewable resources like water, soil and forest can affect their stock, correct? Water seems to be an unlimited renewable resource, but shortage and drying up of natural water resource is a major problem in many parts of the world today. See, we know renewable resources, though this can be renewed easily and we have the unlimited stock of this, but then too, as a human being, we can affect it, right? So our careless use can be affected to this renewable resource also. So shortage and drying up of the natural water resources is the major problem in the many parts of the world today. Now let's move to the next one, that is non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources are those which have a limited stock. See, in renewable you understood that it has the unlimited stock, whereas non-renewable has limited stock. Once the stocks are exhausted, it may take thousands of years to be renewed or replenished. Since this period is much more than the human lifespan, see, imagine like thousands of years. Human being cannot survive for thousands of years, right? So such resources are considered as non-renewable resources. So as a human being, it's our duty, correct, to use these resources not lavishly but efficiently. Like whenever it is required, it should be used in that way. Here the examples are given as coal, petroleum and natural gas. These are some of the examples of non-renewable resources. So I hope children you understood the meaning of non-renewable resources very well. So in today's session we have learnt about the meaning of resources, then we learnt about the value of resources, utility and then its value, correct? Then we learnt about the classification, types of resources, that were the three types: natural resources, human-made resources and human resources. Then we saw the classification on the basis of natural resources, correct? That is first on the basis of it was on the level of development and use, second one on the basis of origin, then third one on the basis of distribution, and fourth one on the basis of stock. And I told you in some of the book you will get it only on the basis of stock, that is renewable and non-renewable. But don't worry, go through the presentation, whatever has been taught to you, go through it. Even the previous one, the detailed representations, go through that. You'll be able to understand the things very well. I hope go through this presentation, and the remaining half part will be covering in the next session. Till then, go through the slides. All the best. Prepare yourself for the exam. Take care.